Extended producer responsibility schemes must be mandatory. All producers must contribute financially and organizationally to achieving ambitious targets. Monitoring and enforcement mechanisms are therefore essential to ensure that all producers contribute. Only then can the PRO's tasks be fulfilled, taking into account the social and environmental standards set by the legal framework. Are recycling targets being reached? Are waste management operators doing their job? Are all producers paying into the system? Are small enterprises and informal actors being included adequately? Is awareness raising taking place? Creating transparency in the EPR system can further increase trust in its operations and prevent corruption in the system. Overall, transparency and checks ensure the efficient and inclusive functioning of the EPR scheme. The mechanisms for monitoring and enforcement must be clearly defined in the legal framework. This includes the definition of the responsibilities each stakeholder has, the way they are supervised, and by what authority, as well as by sanctions applied under non-compliance. A supervisory government authority should be created to hold all actors in the EPR system accountable. It must ensure the PRO fulfills its responsibilities, waste operators adhere to legal requirements, and fees are directed towards the PRO's task. It operates by auditing data provided by PROs, registers, and external auditors. Based on this, it applies sanctions for non-compliance. The PRO usually plays an important role in data collection for monitoring purposes. As it manages all EPR operations, the PRO has direct access to producers, waste operators, sorters, and recyclers. It is therefore essential to make the PRO responsible for documenting both its own activities and those of waste operators. It must submit documentation to the supervisory authority containing verifiable proof of its operations. In particular, this includes the documentation of finance and waste flows from producers to waste operators, sorters, and recyclers. This can include weighting slips and invoices for processed waste, as well as EPR fees and service contracts. The provided data is spot-checked through audits of producers and waste management service providers to ensure the integrity of the reported data. These audits are run by the supervisory agency itself or registered independent auditors. They are based on clearly defined and verifiable standards. Based on this information, the supervisory authority can verify whether the producers and their PRO are complying with collection and recycling targets. To enhance transparency and public trust, the supervisory authority and PRO should publish key data in regular reports. This should also include the PRO's activities, managed waste flows, and planned developments. A key concern in terms of monitoring is the registration of all obliged producers to the EPR scheme to limit free riding and create a level playing field. The basic principle is simple. All obliged companies must provide their company details and amount of packaging they put on the market to a central register. This enables the PRO to calculate the company's EPR fees and the register's operator to check whether a company is fulfilling its responsibilities as outlined by the legal framework. The producer register can be run either by the PRO, another private institution, or a government agency. What is important is that sufficient resources are available to run the register and government supervision is guaranteed to avoid conflicts of interest. The register must contain basic company information, such as the tax ID, contact details, and the type of products put on the market. The provision of the registration number may also be made mandatory on all official company documents, such as invoices and tax statements. This can further guarantee that all products sold or listed by a company are registered, as the producer is clearly identifiable. Further data relevant to the EPR scheme must be reported. As a minimum, this includes the weight of the packaging introduced to the market and the proportion of the different materials in each ton of waste. This data enables the PRO to calculate fees and is the basis for audits to verify the amounts of packaging waste a company produced. The register's data should be made publicly available to ensure transparency and give companies the chance to verify whether their competitors are also contributing to the EPR system. However, the register processes confidential business data. To resolve this dilemma, two things are necessary. First, The producers must not have access to the register's data. Second, only basic company details and aggregated data should be published. This includes the company's names, as well as information on the overall material flows managed by the PRO. Registration must be accessible to all companies. Registration processes should therefore take the local context into account. Online registration should be the norm, but may be supplemented with other means of registration where necessary. Provisions should also take company size into account. For example, micro-enterprises may be exempt from certain registration requirements. They may only have to provide company details and then pay a flat fee instead of accounting for their packaging flows. Registers for further actors may also be created. Waste management operators and recyclers may be registered to ensure they comply with environmental and social standards. Registers for auditors can guarantee that the monitoring of facilities and organizations can themselves be held accountable. These registers function as a certificate, accrediting actors to fulfill particular tasks in the EPR scheme based on clearly defined standards. The operator of the register should be granted the right to remove companies from the register in case of noncompliance. In all of these cases, it is crucial that monitoring mechanisms are clearly defined in the legal framework. This includes who operates registers, who can audit, and how penalties and sanctions through the supervisory authority are determined. I hope you enjoyed this module. The expert voices will help you dive deeper into the topic. And see you in the next video.